Welcome one and all to a glowy Saturday in the state of Pennsylvania. We bring you to Pittsburgh. The USL Championship lands with a bang today at the unmistakable FNB Stadium. The home-sided Hounds greet one of the league's upstart outfits, Miami FC, what has all the makings of an explosive fixture. With Marion Crowder, I am Peyton Gallagher. And Marion, as we really get our arms around this tie, Albert Dequa back in the starting 11. He will be our player to watch here in this one, presented by Modelo.
Albert Dequa, certainly the proven goal scorer across all facets, but he's really searching for some consistency in Rob Vincent's system. They have a presence about them defensively, so don't expect him to go the full 90, but his start should signal to you that Rob Vincent wants to put this one away early. They want to get that first goal, and his presence is going to be a big part in that.
For the visitors, Miami FC, team that has had one of their best starts as a club ever at the direction of Gaston Modoni, but without Jurgen Lakaja here today as he's away on international call-up with Curacao, so it will be Matthew Ndongo leading the line. And
Ndongo is going to be huge in terms of his spatial intelligence. This is a Miami group that wants to create a lot of their chances outside of possession, meaning they want to play on the front foot in transition. His ability to understand the movement of the back line, be on the backside shoulder of a center back, that's going to be a big key for their ability to score the first one here at a really tough place to play.
So it goes. Miami bring their swagger to the Steel City for what has really a lot of promise to be an excellent tie here on this Saturday in the USL Championship when we return. All the action kicks off here in Pittsburgh. That's up next.
At FNB, we're not just changing the skyline of Pittsburgh, we're reshaping the landscape of banking, building a new headquarters in the Hill District, making $1 billion impact in our region, fueling growth, revitalizing neighborhoods, creating opportunities. Because when our city rises, we all rise. Your bank might do business here. We're building a brighter future here.
Can your bank do that?
Welcome to FNB. Let's get started.
Really good place here. Pittsburgh score. Riverhounds have liftoff.
Still wrestling for it, and it's knocked in. And Griffin has opened the scoring for Pittsburgh.
And there is the final whistle. Pittsburgh has not seen a night like this!
Our blueprint at 84 Lumber started with the simplest of ideas. Hire good people, provide excellent service, add value. From that foundation, we created our structure and shaped an industry. We build projects, homes, dreams, neighborhoods. We build careers, lives, futures. We build success. 84 Lumber.
Kickoff soonly approaching here in Pittsburgh. It's Miami FC in town to face the side that holds the crown in the USL Championship, Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And starting with the lineup for the home side, these are presented by IC Light. And for Pittsburgh, a team that's trying to find the swing again, defend that crown. This is the group for Rob Vincent.
Well, it's important to note for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, it's very fluid in their shape from their defensive structure into their attacking structure. And when we look at this midfield group, this is a group of guys who are technically clean on the ball, but also have the work rate and the engine to cover ground. Specifically, Sam Bassett. Look for him to help change some of the look of this shape in the press. He's going to try and screen with Albert Dequa up top, but very much in possession. A midfield player and likes to play in the opposite side half space and get involved because, man, can he strike from distance as well.
On the other side of the equation, Miami FC have been one of the great surprises in the division so far this year. Gaston Modoni has gone with this group without Eloy Room, as well as Jurgen Lakaja coming off that hat trick against Louisville last time out. both those players are preparing for the World Cup with Curacao.
I was about to say, it's even more impressive what this Miami side has done given the different lineup changes we have seen from them from week to week, whether that's international duty or injuries that have gotten to Gaston Mondani's side. For them, it's all going to be about staying compact in their shape and not getting their lines too far spread apart. From there on the attacking phase of play, look to those two up top. Their relationship in terms of the spatial awareness. One should always be checking deep. One should always be threatening in behind so they can ask questions of this Riverhounds back line.
Matthew Ndongo had that great start to the year while Jurgen Locaccio was getting up to the pace fitness-wise, but he's only played 17 minutes over the last couple of games in the league. He will have a big role potentially in this one as Miami try to steal some points here on the road. Always a buoyant atmosphere here at FNB Stadium. Pittsburgh Riverhounds will attempt to get their 100th ever league win in this venue today. That's the most by any team in the USL Championship in any particular home ground. And of course, the train steams on by as we set sail. It's Carlos Rodriguez who has the whistle to start this one off. And Marion, the big question around town as Pittsburgh prepares to have a couple more home games here. Can they find a little bit of consistency after finishing last year so strongly and lifting that trophy at the end of things?
I think one of the big things for them is to have confidence that will lead to consistency, and here they can set the tempo. They can set the momentum for what is a favorable stretch for this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side. There's no doubt about it. They have the quality in the roster. They've got the tactical intelligence, and Rob Vincent has given them game intelligence to be able to execute. But the moments that matter the most, they have really struggled in the attacking 18-yard box. They have got to figure out a way to find more consistency where it matters.
Doesn't look like the netting is up to spec.
Guys, we've got to do this before the game, guys.
When in doubt, I guess zip ties work.
Zip ties fix a lot of problems out there.
I think we've got it squared away now. Thank you, gentlemen. The anticipation builds. As said previous, this is one of the best atmospheres in the USL Championship. We will enjoy it for the next 90 minutes as we are up and underway. Pittsburgh Riverhounds, only for the 4th time this year in the league, at home, brushing against Miami FC, and we have a quick foul call at the edge of the box. Like Dalton Knutson, who absorbed the blowout, the captain. This will be a feeling out period in the early going. Something Rob Vincent remarked at just in preparing for this Miami team. They've been a bit of a moving target tactically this year, very adaptive. Gaston Mondani has been able to press a lot of the right buttons throughout the course of the season, so this first 15 minutes for Pittsburgh could be kind of prickly as they get the tempo of the match. Stout tackle out by the far touchline. And the duels will be prevalent all throughout the match as Albert Dikwa takes it down. Miami FC coming off the win versus Louisville. It was their first win in 4 games in all competitions, but a loud one nonetheless. 4-3 the final score there. Match that they led wire to wire. Louisville in action here tonight as well on the CBS Sports Network against Tampa Bay Rowdies in what is a jam-packed slate all across the division today. Things starting to become crystallized and the picture becoming clear in the league as you get a good look at Gaston Mondani and what a job he's done so far this year.
No doubt about it. I think sometimes head coaches get into a very prickly position when they look to always play the way that they see the game, as opposed to playing with the players that they have available, playing with the personal profiles that they have available to them at any given time. That's what's been most impressive about him, is his willingness to be flexible, knowing that, as Rob Vincent put it so eloquently, it's been a moving target internally for this group. But make no mistake about it, he has done really well to assess the best way for this team to win match in, match out. And for them tonight, it's going to be all about transitional moments. Capitalizing on moments like this where they can actually bring numbers higher up in the press.
That brings us very naturally to tonight's keys to the game, Marion. These are presented by 84 Lumber, and You mentioned those transitional moments will be so key for Miami.
They certainly will. We're already seeing a little bit of it for Miami early, and so from there, if you're Pittsburgh, it's all about finding the correct passing lanes, because there are going to be moments where perhaps this Miami side gets a bit disjointed in the way that they go forward. Naturally, when you want to look for attacking transitional moments, lines tend to become a little bit more distant between the groups. And so for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, it's all going to be about that vision and their recognition of the space that's available to them.
They do lap this up in the mid-park. Danny Griffin. Miami just have this really good nature to them of playing offbeat a little bit, making teams uncomfortable, like you said, almost lulling a false sense of security in the game, and that's when they pounce. Bashir and Jai. Two teams that have been less inclined as of late to hold possession. Miami under 50% possession in a lot of their recent matches. Pittsburgh were a team that were leading the league in that category in the early going, but over the last couple of games, they have only posted a 50% mark in a handful. Just about 41% over the last 4 contests for the Riverhounds. Who's going to play that role of protagonist? It looks like it is the home side early. A challenge to the goalkeeper from range, and it skips away. Felipe Rodriguez is the understudy to Eloy Room. An early examination as Albert Diqua misses out on the pieces to pick up at the back post.
Oh, really brilliant stuff here from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Just a little bit of space in the outside part of this very narrow Miami defensive channel.
Just on the note of absences, we told you about a couple of the key players that are away on international call-up, but tonight's injury report is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And really for Miami, there's nothing to report other than the absences with that international call-up. But Pittsburgh, a couple key players still out. Those 2 center backs, Factor and Edrak, down for considerable time, and will be without Bradley Sample again here today. It's a clever ball in behind. Well-timed run as well. The top of the box, poked along, and a soft spot. The shot never comes. Snuffed out by Owen McCoy. It will be a corner kick. Rob Vincent, first full year as the man at the helm for Pittsburgh Riverhounds, the former Hounds player himself. Been a little bit more challenging for him so far this year. Pittsburgh team that's not had consecutive of any result at any point this year, win, loss, or draw.
You alluded to some really key pieces that they are missing with injury, players that you build an entire game model around.
Sonora, that back line was so central to what they did in that championship charge a year ago. Not only did you lose Sean Suber, maybe the best of that bunch, Charleston Battery now without the 2 other players that were mainstays in that back line. It's not been easy. They've been trying to figure out exactly where that leaves them.
I think for them, that's why the key today, other than finding those incisive passes, is their ability to understand risk versus reward. In this league, we see it week in, week out. Teams will punish you for making mistakes if you try to build out of the back and you're not clean enough. And so for this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side, if you're not comfortable quite yet at that position, you've got all the talent and all the quality still above the ball. Just be willing in those moments to play a little bit deeper so you can gain a little bit more territory, and all of a sudden the reward starts becoming a lot greater than the risk.
Searching ball in behind, that will lift the flag. And just in what you were saying there, Rob Vincent was very candid about that. They want to play out, not been on the menu for them so far this year. Nico Campuzano, the new goalkeeper, filling in for Eric Dick, who was the #1 a year ago. He has had the highest average vertical distance of pass any player in the league. So they have been playing a little bit longer, and it's a testament to Rob Vincent as a young coach to also be adaptable.
Also, when you have the range of Nico Campuzano,
sure,
why not use it?
Yeah. Felipe Rodriguez maybe just enjoying the view of the passing train for a moment on the ball. We commence towards the attacking ends.
That's a really well defended moment from Pittsburgh, just to give it away once again.
Neither side's been able to really assert any kind of firm grasp this first 8 minutes.
And so this is a good look at exactly what we were talking about, the fluidity of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds defensive shape. You see Sam Bassett acting as a second striker in the press to screen. They do well to win that here.
Charles All hot-footing it towards the box. We're going to get a yellow card. The way the referee scrambled over, it looks like it will be against the Miami defender.
Charles All, such a bright spot for this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side down the stretch and their route to the USL Championship title. Creative and willing. Biggest thing about him is he is always looking to go to goal. Very smart with his first touch there. It goes inside. It cuts the run of the recovering defender off completely, forces that foul. Very well done.
We'll see who's over the ball here. Looks like it's Elliot Goldthorpe. Not in the 18, last match in the Cup against Charlotte Independence. What ended up being a penalty shootout loss. But he certainly has the range to test the target from here. 22-year-old Uruguayan goalkeeper Felipe Rodriguez. Big targets to aim at as well at the back post. Up and over. And it's glanced over goal. Looked like it came off the wall. That's certainly the point of view for Elliot Goldthorpe, but it seems it will be a goal kick.
I'm a little surprised at that myself. Certainly with the initial trajectory of that ball and the way it changed absolutely off the wall. That's a missed call from our referee.
Important to note the linesman on this side of the field is on the opposite flank, and not something that would be reviewed on VAR anyway, but also important to point out that that's not available here today. But that is a missed one. Pittsburgh will try and make do anyway.
Kelfo feeling like a hero and like he got away with one too. It's a bit of a confidence boost.
Lessa Kelp. That's a well-tuned delivery in behind for Dequa. He's been heavily involved early. A little bit late to Charles All, but he picks up the pieces. It's another nearly careless giveaway by Miami under serious duress now. Finally do get rid. Counter press so important to what Rob Vincent's trying to do here with Pittsburgh. Sustained build-up for the Riverhounds. Basking in this early summer sun. I'll say this, Miami are not giving up much ground without contest, and they do finally pinch it back. Play it straight into the referee, and that will force a stoppage.
And so here's the interesting thing right now. Miami, so oftentimes one of the biggest defensive concepts, right, is you can't give time and space. You can give one or the other, but you can't give both. And so right now the space that Miami is choosing to give is actually in behind. They're playing quite a high line right now, and you see Albert Dequa oftentimes when he's off of the ball, his movement is to the opposite side center back, just trying to play off that shoulder, find that delayed run. But to your point, what Miami is doing so well, yes, they're giving that space, but the pressure on the ball and the rotation to get pressure on the ball has been really impressive in these opening 12 minutes.
In a lot of ways, it's the foundation of everything they want to do with the ball, trying to trigger those moments where they can pounce in a pack and get out on the run. It's been a real chess match so far, and in a league where the managers are becoming more and more the star across the division, it's certainly been a fascinating one to pick through inside the first quarter hour. Don Knutson. Smoothly wide and flipped along into the channel. This is good stuff from Miami as they approach goal. They've won themselves a corner kick.
Brilliant. Brilliant sequence, especially in a very narrow, tight channel. Good quick combination play.
Nico Campuzano coming off that sterling performance. The last league match against Louisville City, 8 saves and a clean sheet in that one. No saves and a clean sheet in his career. Added him in the team of the week. He has a job in front of him as he will rise to the occasion against the glare and catch it clean. Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Both proverbially and literally. Eric Dick, towering figure in goal. Centurion for Pittsburgh over the years and maybe the main protagonist in their title charge.
Was able to spend a lot of time around the team at that point on the coverage for the league and their title run, and there was just a calming presence about Eric Dick. He had already done a ton of theatrics both in Open Cup play and in league play, and he just felt like he was the presence for this group that actually kind of gave them the confidence to take a few more risks going forward, which I think was a big reason for their late push in the 2025 season.
So let me ask you this, having gotten the opportunity to get so familiar with the squad, Rob Vincent took over and they took off like a rocket. This year it's been a little bit more uneven, so is anything standing out to you that maybe is causing some of that inconsistency so far for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds?
Well, the injuries across the back line, certainly, because last year this was a team that under Rob Vincent, when he did take over, he gave them a lot more freedom. A player like Sean Suber even told us in the lead up to that championship run, he said, I feel like I can actually play those seam balls. I can play those threading balls that actually skips the midfield line straight into my forward's feet, and then we can progress from there. Not sure that they have that available to them right now, and a big key.
Toward the edge of the area and scuttled away for a goal kick. Continue.
A big key to what they want to do moving forward is their ability to actually be comfortable building out of the back. That being said, their ability to win the first and second ball in the midfield was second to none towards the end of last year. I don't necessarily think we've seen that much consistency, and that actually comes from the press up top. So players like Albert Dikwa, they need to really start shining on the defensive side of the ball as well, so that this midfield group can actually start showing what they're made of.
It really is the strength of this team, and in a lot of ways, Augie Williams with such an unsung hero. What they were trying to do. The Prince Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on the screen and enter today. Of course, Pittsburgh coming off. Bit of a lumping left on them by the hands of USL League One side Charlotte Independence, and that competition has been such a useful measuring stick and a forecast for what we're looking forward to in promotion and relegation coming up next couple of seasons.
Can you imagine when that actually happens, the excitement just across the entire country? Obviously across the league, right, because we've been building up to it, but also to bring it to the American soccer ecosystem. I think that it would also unlock an entirely new fan base to the sport.
I don't think it's melodramatic to say the world will be watching to see how it goes.
Oh, not melodramatic in the slightest.
There's a buzz about it. It's something that's well known across the sport at all levels, and there will be a lot of eyes on this division and what is to come. And quite frankly, having been around the league for a couple of years at this point, never has there ever been a moment in which they've been more ready to meet that opportunity that promotion and relegation will offer. You see the crowds, the club like AC Boise, and what they're doing at League One. Portland Hearts of Pine, and it seems like that distance has significantly shortened over the last couple of years.
And I think the thing that's exciting about this Miami group is the fact that in a bigger market, you need a team like Miami to really start to compete for championships, be an exciting team that draws crowds, right? We have so many good crowds at some of those smaller local markets and some of those real big soccer cities. Well, Miami, arguably the biggest soccer city of them all. And so I think, and across the bigger conversation, having a Miami team that can really compete is something that everybody across the league would welcome.
No doubt. Gaston Modoni doing a good job maybe of making the case as to why this club is worth investment. And they've gotten behind the board of this Miami FC side. This group and this roster fitting them with the tools they need to compete at a higher level. And at this point, there's not much challenging them dreaming on for maybe a home playoff game with how things have gone so far.
Well said.
And Jai. Miami have been really patient in the first phase of build-up so far in this game.
A little surprising for a team that really came into this match talking heavily about their need to utilize transition. We've actually seen a lot more sophistication in how they want to go about that. So oftentimes when you hear a team say, we just want to go in transition, they're actually going to defend in quite a low block so that it actually forces the back line of their opposition higher up the pitch, and so that space behind is available. Well, Pittsburgh hasn't necessarily fallen into that trap yet, and so what Miami is trying to do is actually bait their press out just a bit, and a bit of a cat and mouse game between both back lines at the moment.
Looks like possession will belong to Pittsburgh. Rodrigo DaCosta is not making many friends with the officials today.
It is a family-friendly environment. We ask that you enjoy yourself, but also do so in a responsible way that's considerate of those around you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Miami trying to responsibly take care of the ball here. Jiren Jai. Sonora really contesting that space with a lot of numbers, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and it will be a throw-in for Miami. It's been a slower tempo so far, but the fans back behind the goal of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds starting to maybe find the bounce and beat of the game. So too, Miami. That's a good ball in. He's got a rise out of Nico Campuzano. And it's away. Snatched up by Elliot Goldthorpe, and suddenly there are numbers in the box, and it's saved. Felipe Rodriguez didn't give an inch. Go Miami the other way. Things instantaneously becoming explosive, but it doesn't go very far into the custody of Campuzano. A toppling, no call. Retained by Danny Griffin, who's in a bind. So smooth. Player that never is going to raise his temperature on the ball for the Riverhounds. Nearly danger moment. In fact, it does look like the referee will summon a stop to play. Bashir and Jai, who was involved, it looks like he'll escape without a booking. Sam Bassett now deferring. Haven't called his name very much so far. 3 goals on the campaign for the first-year Riverhound. There's Charles All popping up once more in a dangerous area. Confiscated by Miami FC, and a well-weighted ball wide. Not well-weighted enough, out for a goal kick.
May food specials are here, but only for tonight.
The Riveters are back at FNB Stadium on Friday, June 12th at 6 p.m. against Erie SC. Come for the match, then stick around immediately after for the World Cup watch party in the Berg on the big screen. Get your tickets today. Make it a full night of soccer at FNB Stadium. That is a postcard for the beautiful game in this country in the summer months.
Summer soccer, baby. Finally here.
As mentioned, Miami FC will be watching the World Cup keenly. Curacao, Eloy Room, and Megan Locadia likely to factor massively in that outfit. Wriggling away towards the top of the area. There's a Miami attacker, and after a thought, it looks like a free kick will be given. Prime real estate as well.
Absolutely. Miami getting bailed out potentially by the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in a moment that seemed to be the most promising in transition. It was a great look at exactly what we were just talking about. A moment for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds where they actually got caught narrow and they got caught high. A turnover that allowed for the space to be available in behind, but you got to release that ball one touch earlier. Had the run towards the top of the 18-yard box.
Nonetheless, as you said, a bailout comes in the form of a set piece. Miami FC are one of only 6 teams in the division this year to score a direct free kick, but that was authored by Tommy Musto last week in the midweek against Detroit. He's not on the field, he is on the bench. Looks like Arnie Rocha and Rodrigo Da Costa over top the ball. Da Costa does have 2 career goals against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and really good look on your screen now of exactly how tantalizing the target will be to whoever takes this. Nico Campuzano fighting the sun just to get a glimpse to set up his barricade. Notably, there is no player on the ground blocking an attempted pass into the bottom corner for Pittsburgh. It belongs to Da Costa, who goes for goal and just clears that near post by inches.
Da Costa doing well just to put that one nearly on frame. Not close enough, but the sun in the eyes of Campuzano, that is dangerous and nervy moments.
I'm not sure that Nico Campuzano had any idea where the ball actually was.
Didn't seem like it.
Another direct delivery in behind. Knutson. Njai. Pittsburgh have seen to it that the center of the park has not been an accessible area for much of the game. Torre, well, they called his name as well. He gets fouled there. On a high slope to the far flank. Miami don't get to explore very far. Certainly headed back to the goalkeeper. The Hounds are back at FNB Stadium on Saturday, June 13th at 7 p.m. against Indy 11. It's $IC Light Night, plus the return of former Riverhounds goalkeeper Eric Dick. Great soccer, cool dollar beers, and big Eastern Conference matchups all unfolding on that evening. Get your tickets now at riverhounds.com/tickets by scanning the QR code on your screen.
I mean, you can get me pretty much anywhere with $1 beer.
Long-standing tradition of that USL Championship. Phoenix Rising, it was real buzz around the nation when they started doing that. Sam Doer, his idea there, and from that point on, it's become kind of a tradition in the USL. Goldthorpe just grazing the post. He's been lively.
He's certainly had his way with this Miami defense over the stretch of about 30 minutes now. He's done well in his counter-pressing efforts, and then just strength on the ball here, finding a brilliant prep touch after a little bit of contact, stays on his feet, stays stable, and doesn't miss by much.
It's been these pops of action throughout the game, just breaking through what's been a little bit monotonous outside of that.
I think these are the smart moments from Pittsburgh, right? You don't always want to go high press, but you do want to test the ability of Miami's back line on the ball. That being said, the risk to that is now you're opening up that space in behind to a team that wants to see transitional moments in this game. So you can't do it often, but you have to be willing to go as a group when you do choose to do it. And Pittsburgh's done a nice job at that so far.
You said it earlier, cat and mouse. Seems like this game is going to be one of choices. Every choice is going to have consequence throughout this 90 minutes.
You just have to decide which ones you're willing to give. Isn't that the interesting part about soccer? We can tactics this game to death. We can be as complex as you want. But at the end of the day, it comes down to recognizing what's been given to you.
Speaking of recognizing, Robbie Mertz jumping all over that pass. No shot ever really sticks for Pittsburgh, but they still have the ball on the front foot. The referee will have to invoke his right to make the call.
What to say, a bit of a delayed whistle. I was like, what are we doing here? There's certainly a foul on Goldthorpe. But this is where Danny Griffin, his ability to shine, the willingness to make just that 10-yard sprint to challenge for that 50-50 ball, keep it alive, potentially keep a sustained moment of attack alive. That is what allowed for this moment to happen.
Goldthorpe, he's already had a try. Again, he will fight the sun as well.
I feel a great disturbance in the force, and it's coming from the team store. Head over now to get 30% off all hats for the next 10 minutes.
Maybe wait for this free kick to head over to the team store.
That seems like a smart strategy. PA guy is killing it tonight.
I was wondering where he was going then, and then remembered it was Star Wars night.
Star Wars, yes, no?
No. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I feel like you would have made me quit the broadcast if I said no. I mean, we're talking about like potentially like the greatest, not potential. I mean,
yeah.
Like, that is the greatest trilogy of our time.
The movies were such an event.
Are you a book guy? Are you about to tell me
No,
you read
no.
I was like,
no.
don't. Okay, we're ending this.
Reading is for chumps. That was amusing. Good job. No Gollum impression?
Oh, you don't want to see that. It's honestly too accurate.
You're right. Oh! Comes screaming across the box. Nothing precious about it. Robbie Mertz marching in towards the top of the area. It just breaks down again in that final phase for Pittsburgh. Miami winding their wings on the break suddenly. And a switch of points and a well-tuned ball and a shot and a save. That was on a beeline, and Nico Campuzano was the only man in the way.
With that save, and thanks to our friends at Edgar Snyder, the Boys and Girls Club of Pittsburgh just earned a $100.
That is a goalkeeper in hot form, making a big play in this first half.
I'm telling you, that sun right now is absolutely no joke. And that touch, it was a brilliant first touch, but it was right into the direct line of sun. Huge save.
I mean, the Shadows are 20 yards at this point. Goalkeeper on balance and able to react in time. That's nervous for Pittsburgh after they were starting to really find a bit more rhythm in this game. Picked up and proceeded forward. Charles All again in the mix. And swirling in a back post ball. Goalkeeper didn't quite communicate cleanly enough. Was coming for that, but it hit the head of a defender, and now it's swept out.
Well, a couple of times now when Charles All specifically has gotten the ball, he's wanted to cut inside to his right foot. I understand the thought process, because not only do you have runners at the back post, you also have a shot on frame yourself if you choose to take it. However, we've talked about the fact that with these transitional moments, Miami sometimes is going to be disjointed in their recoveries defensively. So if he can actually take that touch inline, he can find a much more open, delayed run from one of his midfielders and potentially have a higher probability shot on goal.
Loose change in the center of the park, and escaping the cluster of players there, Pittsburgh. They played a little bit too lightly in the direction of Charles All, but it bounced out for throwing to Cup. On the CBS Sports Network today, June 10th. Rather, I should say, that's not today, that's in a couple days, excuse me.
I was like, June already?
Yeah. I saw the Tampa Bay Rowdies in the ad copy, and they were playing Louisville. They are playing Louisville right now. We're glad to have you with us for this game, but the Tampa Bay Rowdies will be in action again on the CBS Sports Network as well, as they defend their home turf against the battle-tested Charleston Battery Group that they've already seen once this year. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network again. That's on June 10th, not today. Ball in, and takes a hop. Swung wide. Stuttering first touch and a man down in the area. The referee's not having any of it. And with 10 minutes left in the frame, Pittsburgh hit their gear. Charles All not going to catch up to that. Dramatic ambiance for an entry into the final phase for Pittsburgh. A game that's starting to scream for that point of separation. Lobbed in by Perrin Barnes. It's a dangerous wobble inside the 18. Referee forced into a decision. Carlos Rodriguez has not looked to go to the whistle immediately. Only really made the foul calls when he's been left no choice. Another arched approach. Miami unable to latch on. Pittsburgh clean up on the second ball. Possession escaping them now. That's another swinging switch of play. We've seen a few of those lately. Diaz. And Jai skips out of a tackle. Gets busy towards the end line. Spots a man in the box. The referee has blown his whistle.
Well, the most positive moments for Miami, outside of some of the transitional ideas we've seen, is actually when they have forced Pittsburgh to respect them centrally. So they're a bit patient. They collect 3 to 4 to 5 passes in the central spaces, and then they find that very tight seam, that very tight window in the wide channel, specifically on the near-hand, right-hand side for this Miami FC team. And then that early ball in behind before Pittsburgh has time to recover defensively. Those have been the scariest moments for this Miami FC side on the attacking end of the ball.
A shove, and the referee, after mulling it over, will give the foul. It's an interesting point, and I'm curious to see if you might prescribe any answer for Pittsburgh. Is that a concession they're willing to make with the other things they're doing to combat how Miami have been successful with those switches.
Absolutely. That is the space. Again, we talk about you always have to give up something. No tactical game plan is ever going to take away everything from the opponent. They would much rather force Miami into these isolated wide channels than actually pull their shape apart like they're doing now.
DaCosta, met by a pair of hounds, and hooked away, only as far as Bashir and Jai. Who's going to solve the lock? It looks like it might be a spellbinding sequence for a moment, but it's still there. Still not clear. The procession ends with a handball, and it looks like a yellow card for an infringement at some point along the way.
I mean, can I say what we're all thinking with that close-up?
Go
What
for
product is my man using?
I was paying attention to the mustache.
Ah, even still.
Gaston Modoni not using the same product.
We're not even the second half. Give the man a break.
He's doing a great job.
Doing a great job.
There was a yellow card on Miami. Number
Just confirmation
21,
was Malesi that got the yellow. He will join Rodrigo DaCosta in the book. He has been a bit of a revelation. Peruvian fullback turned midfielder, turned everyman. Leader in terms of touches on this team, and player in the estimation of his own manager, has had a massive role in allowing Miami to control those chaotic moments. A knock-on header will fall at the feet of Albert Diqua. Awaits reinforcement off a pirouette. Robbie Merckx, they need him to get going. No goal contributions so far this year in the league. Charles Hall scored his first professional goal against Miami last year. In fact, he scored on both occasions these teams came face to face. Griffin just trying to cheat Goldthorpe into that central space, but nothing going to come of it there. And a Travella ball in behind. Chased by Ndongo. He'll get a full bite at the apple now. Tamed in the corner by Arne Rocha. Rocha was on paper maybe the right-sided midfielder today, but he has functioned as something more similar to a 10 to this point, and his involvement has won a corner.
I certainly think that adjustment has been necessary. You even alluded to it. Pittsburgh really clogging the central channels. You need someone technically clean enough on the ball, someone with vision.
5 minutes for something to unfold. Within swing. Beyond the grasp of Campuzano. Not cleared, and it's a half-hearted effort from the top of the area. Pittsburgh leaking out and streaming forward in force. Sam Bassett. Oh, what a ball. Goldthorpe. Man in the middle is Dequan and never gets there. The last line of defense. Rion Torrey followed it the full way and saw to it it would not be any harm done.
So when we talked about Sam Bassett in the lineup card, we were telling you about his freedom to roam within this shape and his engine to cover ground. He comes from a central position to that wide channel and already knows that the run from Goldthorpe is developing ahead of him. Absolutely brilliant sequence from this Riverhound side.
Player that wants it to be known, he is not a striker. He is a midfielder, even though he has been maybe shown as a forward on some of these lineup graphics and picked that pass like the very best a midfielder could. And it's a corner coming for Robbie Merckx, who's placed it right in the heart of the box. A bicycle attempt, still there. A second try, blocked again. Just flailing at it. And Pittsburgh go once more. Swooped into the back stick. And Jai rising highest for it. Merckx goes down now. And the referee finally gets involved. And breathe. things are bubbling up.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds certainly knocking on the door of late. This is just absolute chaos inside the 6-yard box. Miami doing a really good job just to get bodies surrounding the central mouth of their goal. And in that second phase of play, a little bit of a late shove from Kelp there.
I think Robbie Merckx maybe popped a tire. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on TUDN, nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to USLChampionship.com for complete USL TV listings. Again, Robbie Merckx trying to find that form that he was in at the end of last year. The creator-in-chief for this Pittsburgh team and maybe the thumping heart of the attacking effort that won them silverware for the first time in 2025. He entered this year only 1 goal away from top 10 in club history. Unfortunately for him, he's made no progress this year. Speaking of progress, it is Miami FC in the area. Won't last very long. And now it's starting to get a little bit more end-to-ends. Here's All. Body's back behind the ball quickly for Miami. Goldthorpe on the half turn. Hangs one high. Looks like everybody stopped, like maybe a whistle was blown. Goldthorpe took that as a green light.
Goldthorpe, as good as he has been, that's actually not I was going to say that was a low probability shot, but when you look at it from that tighter angle, you could clearly see he was trying to test the near post honesty of the Miami goalkeeper.
Goldthorpe putting that ball over goal. That ball is a Select ball. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pro, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, I'm told it's the player's choice. Can you confirm?
Are you told?
Yeah, that's what it says.
They've never told me that.
Okay. I was going to ask you, you're the player here.
Air.
Well, we're here now.
We've already crossed the line. Might as well just go for it. No, we love the Select balls. In fact, I remember my first ever hit for USL Championship as a sideline reporter. This was a couple of years ago. I think it was FC Tulsa when Philip Goodrum was still at FC Tulsa. That's how long ago. It was part of our pregame interview. Did a little hit on the Select ball, how aerodynamic it was. So yeah, big fans over here.
I don't know what to add to that.
Nothing.
No.
Other than sounds good.
Sounds good. Charles All. Only 1 minute of stoppage time. Pittsburgh trying to make the best use of it. A game that has gone certainly without incident on the scoreboard, but not in the actual bounds of play. It's been a lively one. As boos will shower down. I think the referee has done a good job controlling the game, but neither side seems to be particularly happy with how short the leash has been a couple of these moments.
Well, let's be quite honest, no one really ever likes the referee. They have a thankless job.
Dancing into the attacking half, go the Hounds, and wide. Fizzed in, and the goalkeeper will meet the moment. Felipe Rodriguez with a sharp eye on everything evolving in front of him. Will be the last act of this first half. Miami FC, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, 0-0 after 45 minutes. How do you see it?
I think when you look at this first half, you have to look at the success that both coaches laid out for us. And for Rob Vincent, the success was going to come with not only executing the tactical game plan, but finally having execution in the final third. We haven't seen that yet, so I would give them a grade of 50%, knowing that their tactical game plan has been nice, but the final third product hasn't come. For Miami, I think it's actually been a brilliant start from them. It's been smart, and they've had to adapt to a game plan that they didn't think that they were going to have to in that first 45.
Managers will make their money at halftime. Adjustments will be key. It's been even, eyeball to eyeball. Here in the state of Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0, Miami FC 0 here in the Eastern Conference. We'll break it all down when we return. Halftime coverage coming to you.
in Pittsburgh, strength, pride, and teamwork matter, just like at home.
Genius Exteriors, a top-rated roofing, siding, windows, and doors contractor. Call now and get 50% off roofing materials, plus no payments till 2027. And we're proud to offer an extra 10% military discount. Schedule your free, no-obligation home inspection today. Call 412-528-6526. Home Genius Exteriors, proud sponsor of your Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
In 2025, Pittsburgh proved once again champions live here. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, USL champions, built on grit, strength, and performance. And when it comes to protecting your home, there's a champion there too. Pella Windows and Doors, one of the most trusted names in windows, built for performance and proud partner of the 2025 champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And for fans, get 55% off installation and an additional $500 when you mention the Riverhounds. Pella Windows and Doors, built like champions.
Here at the Curtain Fall in Pittsburgh, where the score is scoreless. Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0, Miami SC 0. Before we break down what we just saw, we'll visit with Rob Vincent, check in on what's going on with the coaches show with the Riverhounds. Take a look.
Well, hello everyone. We welcome you back to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds Coaches Show. We are coming to you from Mike's Beer Bar here on the North Shore, right across from PNC Park, and we're happy to be joined once again by the head coach of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Second year at the helm, first year full-time, Rob Vincent. Rob, we're up on a stage, got people hanging out, eating a little bit of steak, drinking a couple beers and sodas, having a good time. How you liking this environment here?
It's very nice, yeah. Yeah, we're doing a little tour of Pittsburgh right now, so I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, we've been all over the place. We've been in Mount Washington, been on the North Shore a couple times. I mean, do you learn a little bit more about the vibe of the city, at least a little bit, as you go through it, even though you've been here for a couple decades almost?
Yeah, but I haven't spent a ton of time in like downtown as well. So it's sometimes you drive past these places and you look in and you see the atmosphere. So it's cool to just kind of get around and see them all up close.
As you move and progress your way through the 2026 season, how would you describe it so far, given that we get a chance to do this once a month?
Yeah, I feel like still probably in a very similar space to where we were last month when we talked. 1-1-1 since our last chat. So again, still kind of feel like we're on the cusp of really kicking on and doing really well, but still also trying to find that consistency of results and performances. But yeah, still really happy with the way the group is progressing and growing and developing. We've had a little break now where the guys could kind of reset their brains a little bit, reset the bodies, get some guys healthy again. And so, yeah, really excited to kind of hit the rest of this month and head into the summer.
You know, we talked about this upcoming break last time we talked at the Bigham Tavern. 15 days without the game. That's a long time. What are you doing personally, just in terms of kind of resetting yourself for a second? And then what else are you doing collectively as a team?
Yes, I think personally, I think it was good to just step away for a couple of days. I think get some time at home, spend some time with wife, my girls. I think that's always important. It is a long season, and I think to be so deep in it for 9, 10, 11 months is it's long and it's hard. So I think to be able to just step away for a few days is important. But also you're still only just around the corner from that next game as well, and still in a very important part of our season, entering the middle third. So yeah, it was a good chance for our staff to come together, discuss the first third of the season. Talk through some things we want to improve on in the second third, give the guys some time off as well. They were, like I said, a little bit banged up, a few injuries. A lot of guys had played a lot of minutes, so it was good to give them some time away. I know some of those guys were able to go back home for a few days, take the weight off their feet a little bit. And then, yeah, we got back in training these last 3 days and kind of started to push them again and starting to look forward towards next weekend.
times, you think the waves are calling your name, but actually, it's the kids. This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
In 2025, Pittsburgh proved once again champions live here. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, USL champions, built on grit, strength, and performance. And when it comes to protecting your home, there's a champion there too. Pella Windows and Doors, one of the most trusted names in windows, built for performance and proud partner of the 2025 champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And for fans, get 55% off installation and an additional $500 when you mention the Riverhounds. Pella Windows and Doors, built like champions.
Here at the intermission, scoreless in our game. Other games going on around the division at this point. It is a busy Saturday in the USL Championship. Kind of moving time in and around the league as we take a peek at those out-of-town scores and things starting to become clear in the Eastern Conference table. Charleston Battery, tough loss at New Mexico a week ago. Back up amongst it though at home, and 2 goals to the good as they round the final bend against Detroit. Elsewhere, it's scoreless as it is here.
Well, we need goals. It is not USL After Dark, which is where we're getting to, without some goals. And what matchup, speaking of After Dark, we have on deck for this evening?
Huge one. Phoenix and Sacramento. Sacramento kind of humbled a little bit against San Antonio last weekend. Phoenix has been a very erratic team. That's an interesting one. Lexington has struggled mightily this year. El Paso were one of the early upstarts. They've cooled off a little bit. Every game matters in a way this year in the USL Championship that feels like it maybe is at a greater level than it's been in years previous. As we set to step aside and approach the second half, we're calling for goals across the USL and here in Pittsburgh. We'll see if those prayers are answered when we return.
The first half is in the books in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying the match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with the headlines for the week. FC Tulsa goalkeeper Alex Tambakis collected his 60th career shutout in a big 2-0 win over Hartford Athletic. That's 3 straight wins and 4 unbeaten for the Scissortails as they climb to 4th in the Western Conference standings. Monterey Bay earned its first league victory of the season with a pair of second-half goals and a 2-0 win over Birmingham Legion. The club sits 8 points below the playoff line heading into the weekend. And Orange County opened its temporary home stadium with a 3-2 win over the Oakland Roots. It was an exciting night for the club as it packed a record 7,651 fans into Santa Ana Stadium, Orange County's home field, while the U.S. national team trains at Championship Soccer Stadium for the World Cup. Speaking of the World Cup, congratulations to 2 more USL players, Eloy Roam and Jurgen Locadia, both from Miami FC, getting called up by Curacao. Locadia just completed a hat trick in a win over Louisville City. League One and the USL Championship have loaded the month of June with national spotlight broadcasts. CBS Sports Network will feature the Tampa Bay Rowdies and Charleston Battery and Las Vegas Lights against Orange County. ESPN2 will feature Forward Madison against Fort Wayne. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back to your match.
The rookie E-Draft stand and secure a title for Pittsburgh. 26 years!
blueprint at 84 Lumber started with the simplest of ideas. Hire good people, provide excellent service, add value. From that foundation, we created our structure and shaped an industry. We build projects, homes, dreams, neighborhoods. We build careers, lives, futures. We build success. 84 Lumber.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Stop searching. Start a video visit with an AHN expert anytime, any day. At AHN, we see you.
Welcome to downtown Pittsburgh inside FNB Stadium. Piece opportunity, ball headed in. The Pittsburgh Riveters execute flawlessly on the corner, and that ball is chipped brilliantly into the back of the net. Sabrina Bryan, a class finish.
Back from the break as the sun breaks through the skyscrapers here in Pittsburgh. Second half approaching. We revisit exactly how we arrived at this point, 0-0 at the intermission between Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Miami FC, and it was not without plenty of excitement, Marion, as these halftime highlights are brought to you by Corona.
I was about to say, the scoreline might read 0-0, but we certainly had a lot of theatrics throughout the first 45 minutes. Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they got off to a really hard start, and they got awarded a dangerous free kick. Goldthorpe just outside the 18-yard box, absolutely the right choice to go from goal. He doesn't end up getting that corner kick, but there were moments of high pressure from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. It was smart in their recognition when to go forward, and you see the +1 numbers all across the 18-yard box, but it's going to be about final execution for this group in the second half. But as Miami grew into this match, they were very diligent with the way that they were trying to break down the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, utilizing the wide areas, and in this moment, absolutely brilliant. Once again, Elliot Goldthorpe, stunning work from his ability to play on the half turn, eat up space on the dribble, but that one's going to sail just wide. It takes us right down the other end of the field. Keep in mind, for Miami FC, transitional moments is what this team is looking to accomplish. They struggled to do that and were forced to do it more so in the build. But for this group, there were 2 moments in the transition that were actually promising. You just looked at one of them, but at the end of the half, it was 44, and Elliot Goldthorpe, once again, a little bit of a struggle in execution from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the final third. They want to clean that up in the second.
Halftime stats are presented by Restano. Quality that you can feel, and we have felt that quality throughout the course of the game as the fireworks have been flaring off. 7 shots in that first half for Pittsburgh, 3 for Miami, but the big number, only 2 total on target so far, and we'll see if that kind of quality might shine through in this frame of play. A frame that we are ready to resume here in the Steel City of Pittsburgh. Much more with Marion Crowder. I am Peyton Keller, and this is USL Championship at its ever-living best.
Got the train and everything.
Almost like they planned it. Both teams unchanged coming out of the dressing room. Question to be answered, will there be a tactical change by either of these 2 managers in the early proceedings? That will be revealed pretty quickly.
I think for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they actually were able to implement the game plan they had coming into this half. But for Miami, I think that they were expecting to be able to play in behind a little bit more, expecting the Pittsburgh Riverhounds to perhaps give them that space a little bit more often. And when that didn't happen, we saw, and you alluded to it, that tactical flexibility from their head coach and a bit of patience from this Miami FC side that I don't think we were used to. Certainly, though, in order to get 3 points in a place like this, they are going to have to figure out a way to bait out the pressure of this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side so that the verticality can be unlocked.
Said 3 points. It's been something that Miami has been able to pocket more abundantly, really at any point in their club's history. Heading into the month of June, currently sitting on 16 points. They are able to score all 3 here today. It would match their most ever before June 1st. Of course, they've got till midnight to do that in one game. 45 minutes to be precise to maybe achieve that aim. That's a long train. We're 2 minutes in, it's still going.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one staring at it.
Somebody at home, if you've been counting the cars, if you want to go back on the replay and tell me how
let us
many.
know.
Yeah. Social media, it's a place that you can go.
Do you have an over-under? You remember like when they used to, when you were like in elementary school,
Sure.
when they used to have the guess how many like marbles are in this jar or
Yes.
whatever it was, Skittles, and you can get them. Like, were you good at that
How
game?
many cars?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, I
Me
was not.
neither. So how many cars?
Are people good at that game? Next question. I think probably at least 48 cars. That's what I'm going with. I can see that.
All right, those are our final answers. If you have
Yep.
something different at home, please let us know, because we obviously aren't very good at that game. All right, well, now I'm confused.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Now I'm confused.
Soccer game's on.
Yep.
And that's a good ball. Could be useful for Miami. Can you ascribe a reason as to why both teams have struggled so much with the end product in this game so far?
For the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, it's been about decision making. They've been in too much of a rush once they do get into the final third, almost like they're surprised that they have entered into it. For Miami FC, it's been lack of options.
Pittsburgh pressing in. It's a good ball. It falls free to Perrin Barnes. Back across frame, diving header. That is dazzling. His name is Albert Dikwa, and he's made it 1-0. Hair raising from the Hounds.
We highlighted Albert Dikwa in the open for a reason. They needed to get him going, and the best way to get a striker confident is to watch the ball go in the back of the net. He's also been hunting that opposite side shoulder of the center back the entire of the first 45 minutes. He starts doing it once again in this second half. We just talked about the decision-making, or lack thereof, for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. That was brilliant from Barnes in behind. The chip, the texture, an inviting ball for Albert Dikwa, who's one of the most lethal finishers in this league.
He wears the number 9. He wears it well in black and yellow. 6 goals for him now, on the year, surpassing already his total for 2025 with Rhode Island's. Familiar face, familiar end result. And Miami have it all to do.
On the assist, his second of the season, number 3, Perrin Barnes.
Off the chest. Wide for Malesi. Peruvian plays it into the center. It was dummied by Rodrigo da Costa. And it's lapsed from the grasp of Miami FC. Goldthorpe. How does that change things immediately over the next 5 or so minutes?
I wonder more about it for Miami than I do for Pittsburgh, because we just saw it in that response. We talked about a risk for this Miami group when you're looking to play transitional is that your lines become disjointed. And already we've seen a Miami defensive line just in that immediate response. They felt like they got burned on that last play. So they're sitting back a lot lower while their attackers are going to chase for another goal. So the space to watch is going to be the space in between the midfield line for Miami and the back line for Miami, and how close those two can actually stay connected.
They're climbing the pitch now. It's blocked on the first advance on the cross of Gerald Diaz. Knutson. Torrey. Knutson again. Miami maneuvering to the near side, pouncing on it is Perrin Barnes. Well capped by Alessandro Malesi. imperative lies with Miami. If you're just now rejoining us, Albert Dikwa is the point of difference, and down in a heap goes Bashir Njai. It did not look good. Pittsburgh with no reason to stop, allowed to continue on. Elliot Goldthorpe, Miami short a man in defense. Shot coming! Straight into the chest of Felipe Rodriguez. Looks like Njai is still down, just now rising off his haunches. He's offside. Will be caught up to in the corner. Looks like Ndongo, who in his own right crumples over. Good to see Njai back up and bouncing. Still on a position though, as Pittsburgh make headway. Dikwa. He's already got one goal. He's assisted by this man, Perrin Barnes. He's left it behind him now. Mertz meddling and wide for Barnes again. Crafted to the back post, taken down. Sam Bassett was not expecting it. Is that in the box? Doesn't look that way, but it will be a free kick for Pittsburgh. I think that was Gerald Diaz that they got there.
Certainly from Diaz here, just a forearm to the back of all. You can see from his reaction.
Actually, Joel Sonora, excuse me, that was involved, and it might be a cheap free kick to give away. Dikwa has already used his head to score one goal in this half. Miami have conceded, at this point, now a league high 5 headed goals with that tally by Albert Dikwa earlier. There's a stir in and around the 18 and in the grandstands. Anticipation for this set piece. Here comes. There it goes. Goldthorpe onto it again. Left it just so shy. And it will be a goal kick despite some nerves from the goalkeeper. The Riveters are back at FNB Stadium on Friday, June 12th at 6 p.m. against Erie SC. Come for the match, then stick around immediately after the World Cup watch party in the Berg on the big screen. Get your tickets today. Make a full night of it at FNB Stadium. So cool what's taking shape in the W League with, of course, the Riveters, Minnesota Aurora as well, and the massive crowds that are being drawn for something that is just so easy to romanticize, and that is summer soccer. DaCosta can't dart it through. Now Malesi will try his hand. Snapped up. Regained by Torrey. Malesi measures a ball into the box. Bounded back by Lasakelp. Njai involving himself into the middle for Sonora. He had the spare man waiting, had the ball provided, it never got there. Looks like Brandon Bent is being prepared. On the Miami side, we will see if he gets a chance to come into this game in the near future. Be the first change of the match as we approach the hour mark. Change will be made.
We have a substitution for Miami.
So Brendan Bent, the 19-year-old from Coral Springs, Florida. 50 minutes for him off the bench. Filling in. An injury reserve against Louisville last game, and he'll get an extended cameo here in this one as well. Team leader in substitute appearances, now with 8. And it's the end of the line for Alessandro Malesi. It's like for like, fullback for fullback, wingback for wingback, and a little bit surprising as Malesi had been one of the better players so far for Miami.
And hadn't had a bad night either.
Absolutely. Bent will receive. Does well to hang on to it. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. And in this venue on this night, you can even bring your dog.
I mean, that's a sell.
Yes.
That right there, sir, is how you sell a sponsorship.
You talking to me?
Absolutely.
Okay. I thought you were talking to Pittsburgh.
I mean, that too.
It's a great way to get
So
somebody to come
I was
to
like,
the soccer
oh, yeah,
stadium.
I totally go.
Yeah.
It is pub night, guys. I mean, we got a double doozy here in Pittsburgh.
A rare crossover event. Star Wars and Pubs at the Park.
The duo we didn't know we needed? Question mark?
I think you could say that. Speaking of having a little bit of dog to them, Albert Dikwa, the goal scorer, I'm sorry, in the corner with the ball. Perrin Barnes. A searching one that exits the area after cutting caddy corner to the 18. Dikwa's back on it. Victor Souza. Lasakel. A shove, but Pittsburgh are doing so well just to knock the ball around, and right on cue it's given away, but it's because of a foul.
That's an unfortunate bailout for Miami because they actually did a really nice job at managing all of the rotation off of the ball from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, got themselves in a position to actually jump that central pass, and then with that they had +2 going forward in the attacking transitional moment.
Just coming back to something that we spotlighted earlier in the game partner, the transitional moments, that's where Miami were going to make their impact in this game.
Sure.
They've just not happened for them throughout the course of this first hour.
And a lot of that has been because Pittsburgh has not given them that space in behind. So with that, you have a couple of options. One of the options is to actually play a bit more central and try to invite a more narrow shape so that your attacking transitional moments, they still happen, but they happen in a wider channel. There's finally our first dog of the night. What do you think he thinks about our tactics? He doesn't care.
I was
He's just
about to
happy
say,
be here.
I don't know if he's consuming much of the tactical meta these days.
So that is one option you have when the space isn't behind and you're trying to still create some of those attacking transitional opportunities. The second option is you actually have to show some sophistication, and you have to show sophistication like that beautiful corgi taking the most beautiful selfie we've ever seen. But that sophistication has to be on the ball, and it's got to be a willingness to actually ping it around a little bit more, move left to right, so that you can start to adjust the defensive shape of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Once you start baiting them a little bit more forward like this, that's actually when the lines behind the ball will start to step up. The space in behind will start to become available. I think Miami's tried that. The problem is that they keep bailing Pittsburgh Riverhounds out with some silly and cheap fouls, especially in the second half.
Looks like Jackson Waltzy is going to come on. That was brilliant by you, by the way. I'm going to be honest, though, for much of that, I was trying to figure out a tactical-related dog punt. It never came. And we've got a free kick.
I mean, I've never taken a selfie that pretty and composed.
A good-looking corgi. Back post ball. Pittsburgh are drawing closer and closer to really taking all the air out of this game.
I feel like his name was Ralph.
Talking about the corgi still?
It has to be like something very
Ralph would be really good.
pristine, you know?
Yeah. I always wanted to name my first dog Spider-Man.
Literally, why?
It's
like,
awesome.
What for?
What are we talking about?
What kind
What's
of
up,
dog?
Spidey?
Just, oh, so you want it for the nickname?
Sure.
Okay.
I just think it's sick.
First name Spider, middle name
last name
Man.
Ball never gets to its intended target. That was Brandon Bent. Pittsburgh looked like they might have numbers, and they still might. Picking the pocket was Njai, and Pittsburgh parade down the touchline. It's going to be a throw out. Substitution to be made by Rob Vincent. The day is done for Danny Griffin. Captain's armband is exchanged. It now belongs to Robbie Mertz, and Jackson Welty will be inserted into the game. That's a bit curious. Danny Griffin, he's the metronome, and he's the organizer, most importantly, for Pittsburgh in the midfield.
Especially when we talk about those moments where they've had to be really smart about the moments when to go forward a little bit higher up the pitch with more numbers and expose themselves a little bit more in behind versus the moments to stay compact. He is a big communicator in that process. Walty's certainly no stranger, though, to this system under Rob Vincent. Also has that disruptive capability, winning 50-50 balls, winning those duels.
Big body, Jackson Welty. Has a lot of presence in the mid part. He'll be up for the fight. Question is, will that structure remain for the Riverhounds? An early testing of that. We've not talked about it at all tonight, Marion. Jurgen Lakadia would really help right about now for Miami. Scored the second hat-trick in club history in the league last time out against Louisville, and it just about felt like he was finding the pace finally. And then he leaves to join with Curacao, and they've missed that presence.
And look, I'm never going to say that a team is settling for a draw per se, but coming into this match, I think that Miami would have been pleased, and certainly they were at the half going into it 0-0. So now it presents a very interesting test for a team that would have been pleased with 1 point at one of the toughest places to play in the USL Championship. Now all of a sudden you have to chase without perhaps your most confident attacker on the ball or available on the pitch.
It's a great turn ruddering around is Robbie Mertz. That is much more like it from him. Charles Hall spots a free man in the middle. It's Welty. Poking at all the uncomfortable places are Pittsburgh. Laid off. And it finally does come undone. And fumbles free. And Dongo left it behind him. What has happened there? All out of sync. Bodies are hitting the floor everywhere. It's just chaos. Referee will finally intervene as looks like Mertz is the one struggling.
Yeah, just a really interesting 30-second stretch there on both sides of the ball. A late challenge on Mertz. Definitely sold it a bit.
Fans, this is a reminder that after tonight's match, players will be signing autographs on the pitch.
Join Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC and Abarta Coca-Cola beverages right here at FNB Stadium for a free U.S. watch party on June 12th as well as June 19th. Fans in attendance will have the chance to win 4 tickets to Brazil versus Haiti in Philadelphia during the World Cup. Enjoy the U.S. matches all throughout the stadium on the video board, plus food, drinks, giveaways, family-friendly entertainment, and soccer activities on the field. Admission is free, but fans should claim tickets in advance. Visit riverhounds.com/watch party for details. Just to return to the point you made about maybe settling for the 0-0. To call a spade there. Miami have 4 0-0s this season. That is the most in the league. All-time record for a single season is 7, and 3 of those have come on the road. So it certainly seems like something Gaston Modoni has maybe set his team up to have that floor in these contentious environments. Off a hop, a skipping stone for Brandon Bent. Miami need to show some urgency now. Albert Dikwa's goal early on in the half is what sets the sides apart. Sonora Shaped into the top of the area. And through the fingertips of Arne Rocha.
So that's the exact moment in terms of the attacking phase of play that Miami is struggling. It's credit to Pittsburgh. It's also a bit of a disservice to the fact that Miami hasn't really had any creative solutions to fix the problem. For Pittsburgh right now, we've seen a couple of times, particularly in the second half, they are willing to go press their numbers, a higher line of confrontation. Miami does well oftentimes to actually break that initial line of confrontation. Once that happens, however...
Look out on the twist and turned down. Over a little bit easily there, Rodrigo da Costa. The moment is wasted. Continue.
Once that line of pressure or confrontation is broken, which Miami's done a handful of times, Pittsburgh is determined to actually get back into a compact structure behind the ball. So they're not looking to high press all over the pitch. They're looking to do it once. If it doesn't work, back into the tight shape that they go. And that's when Miami has really struggled to actually pull Pittsburgh apart and find any moment of success. That's problematic.
Whoa. Robbie Mertz says, put Rion Toure on his backside. The referee has some sorting to do. That must be at least a caution.
Certainly going to have a word with his assistant referees. I'm going to be shocked, absolutely shocked, if this is just a talking to for either of them.
It just kept boiling up. Now, it will be a yellow card to both. Escalated well beyond the whistle. And Rion Toure, as well as Robbie Mertz, both sent to the principal's office. Yellow cards all around.
So he's saying, you know, Robbie Mertz stepped on my leg, but I want you to watch the extracurriculars. So yes, holding from both players, no doubt about it. But it was actually Miami that takes Robbie Mertz to the ground initially, and then the reaction from Mertz, certainly, but neither player there innocent. Yellow card to both, absolutely the correct call.
Now let me ask you this as a player. The referee, and not to cast any aspersion to the job that's been done, as a pair of changes are made here. The whistle has been a little bit late at times, and those players were grappling for the ball all the way to that whistle. Does that maybe encourage a little bit more of those moments where it does get a little bit chippy at the ends?
Absolutely, because all of a sudden you think that maybe the ref isn't looking, you think that the game is a bit out of control. I've even been a little bit reactive to some of the late whistles from our head referee, thinking, are you not going to call that foul? And so if I'm thinking that from up here, no doubt that that is in the mind of the player. It's already too easy to react in this 90 minutes of fierce competition between two sides, let alone if you have some delayed whistles, delayed interventions.
The whistles have come, and they've come consistently, but also with that, the referee has taken a second to make sure he's right before blowing that whistle. Maybe some of that boiling over. Speaking of which, Elliot Goldthorpe involving himself in a meaningful moment and just missing out. We're talking about yellow cards, and it was Elliot Goldthorpe who was trying to turn the whole match yellow, make it 2-0.
Every time you watch him play, it feels like you're going to get used to it, but his ability to take that first touch and just explode into space, eat up 5 to 7 yards with one touch, it is an elite quality of his, and oftentimes gets him in some really dangerous areas. And as many shots as he's taken tonight, as close as they have been, talk about final moments in execution in the final third, he's going to want to have done better with some of those. I actually thought he probably should have taken that with the left foot.
Kind of has defined him as a player. Always been scratching the surface of what is an immense talent. It's never quite fully come together. It was with Tulsa last year after being sent there by Lexington, now with Pittsburgh. A player that Rob Vincent has big plans for. This has been a bit of a coming out party for him so far. Elliot Goldthorpe. Pittsburgh starting to put the screws to their opponent. Off the back heel flip. Snatched by Rion Toure, who is hounded into the corner by Lasse Kelp, the center back. Here go Miami trying to break that first wave of pressure like you said. Knutson. No substitutions being made, just a quick point on that. As Mohamed Diallo comes on, as well as Alexander Naranjo. All 3 changes made today by Gaston Modoni have been teenagers. It's a bit of a thinner Miami team coming off that double match week. They saw Louisville and Detroit on a 24-hour travel day to Detroit. Modoni did say in the build-up to this game that they were going to evaluate some players ahead of the match, and there might be a minute count, using some of the youth ranks to fill things out in the late stage here today, as that's a dangerous ball by Knutson. Ben. It threads through. A whole lot of bodies out here on the near touchline. Bassett, Goldthorpe in field. Plenty of company. The dance partner is Dikwa, left off. It's all! And he gave that the lot. Charles All. Everything and more, and Pittsburgh make it 2-0. He's played Miami 3 times in his career. He has scored in all of them. And Miami hit the mat.
Another good moment in the build-up for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, this time met with final third execution. A brilliant decision from Albert Dikwa. He actually could have brought that central to Goldthorpe, decides to be a little cheeky with it and keep the defensive space narrow. What that does is it gave Charles All a more probable shot window. And that, my friends, that is a class finish.
That looks like the championship-winning Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And that looks on the scoreboard like 2-0. And to that tune, Rob Vincent will shuffle the deck. Looks like Junior Attu, as well as Trevor Hammond. So the player who scored the first goal, Albert Dikwa, makes way. Attu, we'll see who he grabs. It will be both goal scorers coming off. Charles All, his day is done. Whatever the opposite of a cold shoulder is what Charles All is receiving.
Well, for both of those players, just really good shifts on the night. All, he is always a problem, no pun intended, but his willingness to take his first touch to goal, his willingness to get beyond the back line, gives a lot of life and a lot of spark to this Pittsburgh Riverhounds attack. And Albert Dikwa, we told you he needed to find consistency in this Rob Vincent system. Been in and out of the starting 11, been in and out of his goal production. Well, today, not only does he have a goal to his own, but he was integral into the second goal for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds as well.
Full systems firing for Pittsburgh Riverhounds coming into today, and not, again, had repeat results at any point in the first 9 league matches as Junior Attu is down, grabbing his face immediately. This would make it back-to-back wins on the skip after beating Louisville in Kentucky. For a lot of intents and purposes, you could say this is possibly their most comprehensive performance in any game in match 10, 75 minutes in. The game's not over. And on the yellow card, Torrey will be alleviated. As it will be Tommy Musto replacing him. And Tulu comes on. Been a super sub this year, making his 7th cameo of the campaign.
Number 6, Tulu, and number 23, Thomas Musto.
Musto scored that goal against Detroit from the dead ball. Started the first handful of games, but not started now in 6 consecutive, and it'll be Dalton Knutson who comes off. So the captain comes out. That is a curious change. You wonder if there might have been an injury that popped up. As it comes skipping through in the area. Slalom back, looks like by Junior Attu. Nobody's there to provide the punch. Walty tangos away from trouble. Gets it right back. There's some swagger on the step now. Attu. Infield, Goldthorpe. Reattaches himself. Elliot Goldthorpe stings the palms of Felipe Rodriguez. Is it fair to say he's maybe been the best player on the pitch today, Elliot Goldthorpe?
Hard to say because he still doesn't have a goal contribution to his name. He's certainly been one of the most active in terms of the attack. I think sometimes with Elliot Goldthorpe and a player that knows he's got that much quality, you have to weigh the decision of how much attention you attract as an individual versus at what that can actually open up for your teammates. In that last sequence, in fact, he ended up choosing to turn to his right, which is where all the numbers were for Miami. And he actually had one of his teammates making a darting, available, wide open run to his left. A little layoff would have been probably the third goal of the night for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. So that's the next evolution to Goldthorpe. Certainly has a nose for goal. You don't want to take that away, but you do want to add a level of recognition that oftentimes when you're that caliber of a player, you're going to attract a lot of attention. And when you attract a lot of attention, it's going to open up space for other people.
Well said. Skipping away, it was Njai who showed some frustration. Lack of fruit bearing from that mode of inquest, and Miami will go it again. Bent flies the ball into the box, does not clear the first obstacle. Pittsburgh go hunting for the backbreaker. Ammon. Walty. Lasakel. Good turn, Bassett. Nearly given away, but Pittsburgh will continue to march. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. That's all on Sirius XM FC 157, as well as the Sirius XM app.
I mean, the hair's impressive.
Not
it stayed
a single
completely in place.
We think it's a pomade.
Whatever it is, needs to there. I mean, look at that.
I'll have a taper fade. High and tight. Elliot Goldthorpe has enjoyed his night. Can he provide that moment of action from the corner? Hoisted over the goalkeeper. Just flailing at it was Felipe Rodriguez. Doesn't have the sun to hide behind on that one, just got the reading wrong.
Way wrong. Really lucky there wasn't a player in a black kit surrounding him.
Pittsburgh just knocking the ball about. Almost as if they're simulating to the end of this game with the cadence they're playing at. Speaking of which, eFootball is here. Live your dream. Have your team and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. In cruise control. And sailing into the final third, Goldthorpe on the 1-2. Walty, give it a whack. Not shy about things, and be Junior Etu, who keeps it for Pittsburgh. Walty just carving them apart. Walty again. Off the back of Tulu and away. Goldthorpe now. Top of the box, Ammon. Etu. Junior Etu. And just about prodded offline by Felipe Rodriguez. Had to get a touch. There were bodies lurking in and around the heart of the area. Max Vieira is being put through the final checklist. He'll have to wait for the backside of this corner kick. A ruthless, rigid performance from the Riverhounds. Ready to take aim for maybe a third. This is important. Any bounce could quickly reshape the game for Miami. Not out of sight just yet. Just about everything's gone right for the home side. Could cross the finish line in style with a third. In by Merckx at the near post, and it's far from harmful. Set of changes for Rob Vincent.
Coming out, number 5, Victor Souza.
Victor Souza comes off.
And number 37, Elliot Goldthorpe.
Bilal Osamanu will replace him at the back. Elliot Goldthorpe will also meet his expiration in the game as Max Vieira will come and replace him. We'll see in what role. Both players can play a 10 or a wing back.
Goldthorpe probably going to feel hard done on the night not to have a goal contribution attached to his name after the performance. We said he's been very dangerous, attracting a ton of attention. But the film session for him is probably going to be about how they can evolve his game. So not only he can include more players around him, you start to be able to dish it out to some of the runners near you. Then all of a sudden they have to respect the options, and it opens up a lot more probability that you actually score yourself. Really promising stuff from Goldthorpe. Just the next level for him, certainly available.
A lot of promising performances in this game, especially by several of the new players that were brought in this year. Tikwa, namely as well, getting the goal. You do see the vision. There were a lot of big losses, but also a lot of key additions, and there is a future where this Pittsburgh team is up challenging exactly where they were last year.
I think the balance for any head coach is figuring out a way to play the long-term and the short-term game at the same time. I know that sounds silly, but hear me out. Every single coach, we've already alluded to it with Mandani, they have a long-term way they see a club playing. They have a long-term vision of how a 90 minutes should look for a team that's coached under them. That being said, you have to respect the personnel profiles that you have available to you at any given time. And in this business, which is a results-based business, make no mistake about it, you often don't have the luxury of grace and patience to take what is truly a 2 to 5 year process at building that vision and do it without getting results. So for a head coach, especially in a place like Rob Vincent in the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, he's got to balance getting short-term results with implementing as he goes along the way this long-term process.
And oh, by the way, patience is only getting shorter in and around the game at all levels.
Without a doubt.
And Rob Vincent will be chasing a standard that was set at the highest echelon when he was the interim head coach as well. It's a really instructive point. Gaston Modoni said much of the same, talking about what they've done with Miami this year and the adaptability, and said that's all well and good. That's what they are trying to do to win games now, but he's still trying to get players to buy in to the overall vision, and that's something he felt like he had to sell to them every day, regardless of result.
The other interesting point to that is the way that you often get players to buy in and buy in consistently to something new is to actually start getting results. If they have wins under their belt, I promise you, players are a lot more aching to listen to what you have to say as a head coach.
This will help for the Hounds, there's no doubt. On the run, it's Sam Bassett at the top of the box, and it's beaten back by Felipe Rodriguez. USL Championship and League One are on the CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches, expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network as well as ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
We'd like to thank all 6,053 of you for attending tonight's match.
Big sellout crowd on hand for what looks like is going to be the 100th league victory at FNB Stadium for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Most ever by any team in any venue in the USL Championship. They've not been at home much. The joint fewest home matches in the division so far this year. This is now only the 4th that Pittsburgh have played. Money down in the center circle. Robbie Mertz has been engaged tonight.
Yeah. A couple different moments.
Yeah.
For sure. I got to know Robbie well in that run-up to the title for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. This club, this town means so much to him, and you can see that every single time he steps on the pitch. He knows that he's representing something larger than a crest. It really is a representation of a city that he grew up in, a city that he absolutely loves. He made no mistake about what it would mean to bring a title back to the city of Pittsburgh. And he has been a really important part to what they want to do, really important to what Rob Vincent wants to continue doing. A true two-way player in the midfield for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, willing to disrupt, but willing to connect the lines as well. And one thing you can never say about Robbie Mertz, kid always works. He is never going to leave a match without giving it 100% in terms of the work rate.
It's so true, and it's almost as if there's some ineffable or innate degree that you feel in the tension of his shirt. It's almost as if he wears the shirt differently under the weight of the responsibility that he plays with, and it's so evident. Not the performance that Miami would have wanted. It continues to be a zigzagging campaign of highs and lows.
I knew it was going to be an uphill battle too. You can't overstate how difficult it is for head coach and for players to ebb and flow out of starting 11s, ebb and flow out of availability, and because of that you have to ebb and flow out of tactics as well. And so amidst a match week where you maybe only have 2 to 3 days available to training, you could be potentially learning a whole new system just to play on the weekend. It is a tough challenge right now for Miami with a few things against them. And so while it's not the performance they would have wanted, it is important to respect all of the different obstacles that this group is up against.
They will be on the road again after this as we venture into stoppage time, touching all corners of the country as they head out west to see Oakland Roots on the road before returning home to face Orange County, two of the better sides in the Western Conference so far. Just no easy outs in the USL Championship. It's never been this close. Every team offers something interesting on the night. 90th minute.
5 minutes of stoppage time.
5 minutes of stoppage time to be played out.
Extra 5 minutes.
The decoration is what Pittsburgh Riverhounds are pursuing. Perrin Barnes with runway. Cut short. It was Joel Sonora who took him to ground.
And it's another 5 minutes to kick out Buzz with Mosquito Joe.
Rob Vincent, no quarter given to the fourth official. Just to make sure the right due is given. Winos today, Ben Rigel and Aaron Fong. Fourth official, Andrew Stefanik. Swaddled back to Perrin Barnes. Dumped into the corner. Chased rigorously by Trevor Ammon. And although it is nothing more than a goal kick, precious seconds coming off the board. Sold out crowd of 6,000 plus, and they have gotten what they came for.
And 2-0 up after what's been a really choppy last 10 plus minutes. Still engaged. Still got the chance going. Still got the claps going.
Here we go again.
That's a tough sight.
just sputtering to the finish line. I think maybe the most convincing part of the Pittsburgh performance is how they've managed the lead from the point that they gained it. Really managed the whole game. Always felt like Rob Vincent was a step in front of Gaston Modoni here today. And I know you've not watched Star Wars, but that's Darth Vader that's breathing. Just felt like I'd fill in the gaps, you know?
That is quite literally the only character I think I can name.
Yeah. He's a famous one. People do
That's
know
what
him.
people tell me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just going to take their word for it.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Is Yoda in that one too?
Yeah.
Is that a different one?
Yeah, no, that's the one.
And he's cute.
I think that's Grogu.
There's a difference.
Yes, there's two of them.
Are they two different people?
Yeah, aliens.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You know a lot more about this than I expected you to.
That is true.
Okay.
Most people know about it, actually.
Oh, so it's me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the
That is
problem.
exactly what I'm saying, correct. But to each their own. Played straight out of play by Pittsburgh.
And you just earned yourself yet another mini soccer
Play is
ball.
paused.
Friends
Foul
at
given.
Bell Windows and Doors, keeping the view clear at FNB Stadium.
Only 2 shots on target for Miami on the evening. 10 touches in the box compared to 30 for the Riverhounds. They have lost all the territorial battles. This will be 4 consecutive road matches in which Miami have failed to gain all 3 points, and that might be the next hurdle for them if they want to seriously press the higher playoff seeds in the East. It is bumper cars all up and down the table. Off the chest of Felipe Rodriguez, who takes it with some flair outside his 18. One last push for the Floridians, flown high. It's a wrestling match in the final third, but spun wide. Bashir and Jai carrying over everybody off a skip. Bent will knock it down. Musto muscling in. And away. Not gonna let go of this clean sheet that easily. And Jai coasting. His cross is cut away. Giallo loses his footing. We are beyond the 95th minute. Referee takes a peek at the watch. Shuffled along off the back heel. Miami, despite calls for a penalty, we'll see this game come and go. 100 wins in the USL Championship. At home at FNB Stadium for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Number 100 is Miami as they see the Reaper in the form of Rob Vincent and his men.
Absolutely brilliant. Starting at the back line, they were intelligent with their ability to read cues, deny the attacking transition moments that Miami came into this match with. Midfield group, they scrapped when they needed to scrap. They closed the line between the front and the back very often, and it led to various moments of attacking success for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And then from there, we told you some of the big names, like Albert Dikwa. They needed to get going. They needed to find some consistency, some productivity, and they did that tonight. So all 3 lines for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds coming together in what you even said is likely their most complete format so far this season.
Clean sheet number 2 in the league for Nico Campuzano. And our man of the match, presented by Modelo, was the one who got the party started, Albert Dikwa.
When your goal scorer finds confidence it is something that can unlock the momentum for the rest of this group. Not only is he one of their key goal scorers, but a key veteran presence. So when you talk about buy-in, getting a guy like him feeling good on the right footing, feeling confident in front of net, it's absolutely massive.
A sterling Steel City performance by the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who go smiling into the good night. 2-0 the final score. We'll break it all down when we return. Miami head home to Florida with a loss.
At FNB, we rewrote the rules of banking and made getting everything you need a whole lot easier. Experience the one-of-a-kind eStore Common app. Checking, savings, loans, credit cards. One application, done in minutes. No hoops, no hassles, no surprises. Just one common app for more than 50 business and consumer products.
Can your bank do that? Didn't think so.
Welcome to FNB. Let's get started.
Here in Pittsburgh, strength, pride, and teamwork matter, just like at Home Genius Exteriors, a top-rated roofing, siding, windows, and doors contractor. Call now and get 50% off roofing materials, plus no payments till 2027, and we're proud to offer an extra 10% military discount. Schedule your free, no-obligation home inspection today. Call 412-528-6526. Home Genius Exteriors, proud sponsor of your Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Really good place here. Pittsburgh score. Riverhounds have liftoff. Still wrestling for it, and it's knocked in. And Griffin has opened the scoring for Pittsburgh.
And there is the final whistle. Pittsburgh has not seen a night like this.
And the bell tolls. It's a happy sound for the home side. Pittsburgh Riverhounds take it 2-0 over Miami FC. The highlights from a night packed chock full for Pittsburgh against Miami FC. Once more with Marion Crowder, I am Peyton Gallagher, and this is all we saw throughout the course of the night. Full-time highlights are presented by Corona, and Pittsburgh were throwing blows from the outset.
They certainly were. First 45 minutes were great, and in fact, Miami was still into this match, went into the locker rooms 0-0, and they found some good moments of attacking transition, particularly when they swapped the point of attack from left to right. That was likely their best shot. Campuzano having to deal with that one in the sun.
Save of the game is presented by Edgar Snyder. It was important. It could have completely reshaped this tie if Miami went ahead 1-0. But then later on, into the second half, this epic play of the match, and it was epic. Albert Dequa lifting everybody from their seats, lifting himself from the pitch with a diving header to make it 1-0.
And how about that service from Barnes, just on a platter to the back post for Albert Dequa. The texture on that, the service, and the ability for Albert Dequa just to have a gutsy performance.
Now to the 57th minute, where Pittsburgh would really put some separation between themselves and their opponent, just barraging Miami with chance after chance, and pressure eventually burst pipes into the 73rd minute now, as Pittsburgh would open things up at the top of the box, and now Dequa will play provider for Charles Zoll to wrap things up.
How well dealt from Albert Dequa. The ball a little bit behind him, so instead of going central, he goes out to the run of all, and that is a pristine finish for the second goal of the night.
Full-time stats are brought to you by Rostano, and boy are they telling. 6 shots on target for Pittsburgh. They cash in 2 of them. 17 total attempts. Miami only able to muster the 1 shot on target.
And I'll actually even look at that possession number. It's going to tell a slightly jaded story here. You mentioned Pittsburgh's ability to actually manage the lead. So that possession number dropped very heavily as they were willing to suffer without the ball, sit in a more compact shape, and that gives them a really complete performance on the night despite them being lower in the possession number.
And so it goes. Pittsburgh put Miami to the sword. Tip to tail, the stronger side on the day. For my partner, Marion Crowder, folks, I've been Peyton Gallagher. What a game it was for the Hounds, who have it in hand. Back-to-back wins for them in the USL Championship. But for now, from Pittsburgh, we say happy trials. We will talk to you soon, folks. The USL Championship season rolls on. Pittsburgh 2, Miami 0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.